Well, that ended up kind of shelving your third album for a while because of this legal beef. So now you're delivering songs to them and they're not putting it out. So that's created that big gap between the second and third album. And we'll get to that third album chronologically, but that's what's happening right now. You're basically in label limbo where you can't put out music yourself under Special Ed, the solo artist.
Absolutely. I couldn't put out records because of my legal binding. That's why we went to court. So, and then I'll tell you, I had a great relationship with like Russell and Lyor. I used to go see them all the time. They actually gave my management company a Rush associated label, if anybody's familiar with that time period. So they used to call them a RAL, and it was called True Blue Records. And their office was right next door to Russell's office and on Elizabeth Street. So I used to go over there all the time and visit them and be like, yo, please get me off profile. And they were like, that's almost impossible. We can't even get Run DMC off a profile. Right. I can't get my own brother off a profile.
Right.
You feel me? So that's kind of how that situation went. And I used to, I used to see them all the time. I walk in the office, I talk to them. Lyor, I sit down with him. Like, they always took meetings with me, even if it was just casual, me on the pass through. So, shout outs to Russell and Lyor and Def Jam, because that's really, after my misfortune at Profile, that's where I wanted to go. But they couldn't, like they said, they couldn't even get Run DMC off the label because it was such an ironclad contract. And I fell under the same circumstances.
Okay, but then in 1994, the Crooklyn Dodgers came together.
Yeah.
You, Buckshot, Masta Ace.
Yes.
And it was produced by Q-Tip.
Yeah, Q-Tip called us. Spike had hired him to produce the track and recruit some Brooklyn artists, and he called me. And I was happy to do it because this was into the era where artists started collaborating. And I never really collaborated with anybody. So when I got the call to collaborate, I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. And I felt the way even back when Self-Destruction was out. I wasn't on that. I wasn't called. I wasn't asked. So, I always felt like, when I'm going to get to collaborate with somebody, you know what I mean? And then when Q-Tip called and was like, we doing this Crooklyn soundtrack, I was happy. I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. And then he said he was considering Buck and Ace, and, I was like, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So they came to my studio. I had a studio in Brooklyn called the Dollar Cab Lab. And they came over there and we started working on it. Tip was tightening up the track and we were writing to it. And it was good to go. It was a wrap from there.
Well, what I never realized about this music video for that song was that there's a lot of cameos in the song with people that were born in Brooklyn. And you had Mike Tyson, which of course is Brownsville. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
But I never realized that Michael Jordan was born in Brooklyn and he was in the music video.
Yeah, Michael Jordan was born in Brooklyn. And, everybody want to claim Jordan. Y'all can have him. But he was born in Brooklyn and he said it himself. So shout outs to MJ. And Michael Jordan, that is, because there's a few MJs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And shout out to Tyson too, man.
I mean, what was it like? Because at that point, Tyson and Jordan were like the biggest celebrities on earth, essentially.
Athletes, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, really more than just athletes, though. You can't even say, because people who never watched boxing or saw a single basketball game knew exactly who Jordan and Tyson were.
Yeah, you're right, because I never really was a sports fan myself. I saw Tyson fight plenty of times, but I never really kept up with basketball or baseball or football because I was always grinding. I was outside. You know what I'm saying? I was working. I was traveling. So I never really had a big interest in watching a whole game. Shit was like hours. At least Tyson, I know you're going to knock somebody out quick and I can move on. You know what I'm saying? But to sit there and watch a whole game, that wasn't me. but I always knew all my people was like, yo, Jordan this, Jordan that. And actually, back in the days, we wanted a Nike deal. And we approached Nike, and their response was they don't endorse musicians. They only endorse athletes. However, they sent us boxes of clothes. So that's when I stopped wearing Nike.
Yeah. So fast forward 2023, Nike has a deal with Travis Scott, and Nike has a deal with Drake.
Right.
And,
with everyone.
And I'm sure there's more on the way as well.
Right. But that was their position at that time. And they sent, trust me, they sent some boxes of clothing, and I wore some of the Jordans for a little bit, but I was never really a big Nike guy after that because I felt like that was a slap in the face. Like, why weren't we as rap artists good enough to get endorsement deals? Like, it was ridiculous to me. And then not only that, but Adidas has entertainers and artists. Reebok has rappers and artists. Everyone else adapted the idea, and they later on, I guess, adapted it themselves. But, that was one of my experiences in dealing with the corporate world and endorsements and Nike and things of that nature.
You and Biggie, did you guys meet around this time or earlier?
Well, I met Biggie through Klepto. Me and Klepto went to elementary school together as well. And I got a picture of us stunting in like 4th grade with our button-ups on, chilling by the school like gangsters. So yeah, me and Klepto went to school together, and as we grew up, we always, kept in touch. We was always, from the same area, and also we came across each other, and I was pretty much kind of popular in the neighborhood just from being an MC as well. And, I had 4 older brothers, and we were all kind of like, stand-up people in our own way. So the whole, we kept up with our school friends. So when he used to hustle too, like, clothes and shit like that, and kleptomaniac. So yeah. So shout outs to Clep. So he came around one time to the Dollar Cab Lab and was like, yo, Ed, Big gonna put us on. And I'm like, word? He's like, yeah, if you got any beats, you know what I'm saying? I was like, hell yeah, whatever you need, you my guy. But I was a little bit doubtful because I had already submitted some tracks for Big's album and they didn't use any. So I was like, all right, fuck it, let's try it anyway. So he ended up bringing Big to the studio with the rest of JM, and they listened to some beats and they started picking beats. And we was like, oh, hell yeah, go rap. And we had our own studio, so it was nothing to be like, go spit on this. Go ahead, you like it, go spit on it. Go ahead. So we ended up doing 3 tracks. I know I had misquoted somewhere, I said it was 2, but it was actually 3. We did a song called Murder Ones, me and Action once again. Ak is my production partner, so between me and him, we do all the work together and put things together. So we did Murder Ones, Lyrical Wizardry, and Oh My Lord. And Oh My Lord was the one that featured Clep and Biggie. And that was like a back and forth between Clep and Biggie. They was almost competing on that joint because Clep came off super, super tough on that song. And Big was like, oh, okay. He had to kind of match his energy and his level of lyricism. So that was interesting. That was a fun time.
Well, on the song, Oh My Lord, there's a part of it that's like reversed. And when I looked it up, Biggie says, throw gas to Giuliani.
Yeah.
But on the album, it's like reversed, so you can't understand what it's saying. Like, what was it about that lyric that made it so weird?
Well, at that time, you still have to remember there were some forms of censorship for political reasons. He talking about throwing guns to the mayor. You know what I'm saying? So in order to maybe get that song played without getting it banned, you know what I'm saying, for being like anti anything. We just figured, let's just reverse that part right there. And that was the only thing that would have been deemed super controversial, because it was like threatening a political figure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.